Alright, good evening everybody, and welcome to the Gathering Presents Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory, Howl of the Lost, Part 3, Labyrinth. I apologize for starting so late. Unfortunately today I had an appointment today that just could not be moved. Hopefully that shouldn't happen again, because I don't have one for the next month or so. But welcome, and I hope you're all settled in, as well. We've got quite the story ahead of us. When we last left off our band of misfits, we left them in a bunker, an Eldari bunker, that had existed here from a war that's long since passed. Whereupon the computer systems inside still work. Outer defenses, on the other hand, kind of don't. It was here that a couple of different things happened. Varashi, using her Eldari knowledge, discovered the location of what the Eldari computer, at least, believes to be the Tesseract, the item that the group is here to find. Gorshmak drank the Eldari equivalent of rubbing alcohol, and currently thinks that it is just bad squig ale. And I mean, he's kind of not wrong, all things considered. And Cloak managed to stumble across an armory full of weaponry. Whereupon now Farashi, Pure, Cloak, Gorshmak, and Farashi's 4 sisters that she brought with her, their fellow witches, are armoring and weaponing up to go and see what the new location holds in store. As all 8 of you, technically, are armoring up, Farashi, you see that your sisters are tending to... They've been trained very, very well in that the weapons that they are picking... The weapons that they are picking are... Well... let's just say that, you would expect nothing less from those who are taught from a very, very young age to deal a lot of pain very, very quickly. Specifically via way, at least in the case of one of them, picking up a heat lance. I forget where the heat lances actually are hiding at the moment, but it is a blade that flares to life once it wants to load for me. It's a blade that you've seen before. Not particularly your cup of tea when it comes to weapons, but it's designed to... It's actually designed as an anti-armor weapon, for the most part. But it's also used on pesky armored personnel targets, such as those Monkai who wear the big suits of power armor. And something very interesting happens to them when they get hit with one of these. It's a very short-ranged weapon, but the laser causes the armor to fuse to the flesh of who's inside it. And it's the cacophony that comes from what happens next, well, you could imagine, and you've seen in the arena these things used against heavily armored targets to cause a new, very distinct kind of pain that can really only be replicated with just well, it's a very unique kind of pain that is only associated with weapons such as this. The fusion technology that has come to be known by the Monkai name of Melter. Because there are weapons that do the same thing, both in a melee form and in a ranged form from, well, you've seen even the Tau have weapons such as that in their ion cannons. As much as it does them any good as you tear them out of their massive battle suits and they start screaming just like any other race does. But as they finish armoring up, heavy weapons and light weapons and grenades, melee and ranged alike, as well as a massive pile of ordnance that is stuffed into the Land Raider that has currently been your transport upon the planet of Sylvanas via means of the four Drukhari devotees grabbing as much as they could possibly carry and sticking it into wherever it would fit. You are all prepared to see what awaits you next. So,
any chance I can find a respirator in this
yeah,
stash?
yeah, there's easily a respirator in here.
Good.
Gas attacks and things weren't too uncommon, especially in a wartime such as the ones that Sylvanas has seen. I mean,
Perfect, because I'll be grabbing some hallucinogen grenades, so
yes, protection against your own weaponry is probably a good idea, all things considered.
Yep.
Now, as the four devotees finish loading up as much as they can carry, like the things that they strap to them. Farashi, there are weapons there that kind of cause you to have a little bit of nostalgia back to your first days in the arena. Like your trusty Hekatari blade has served you well as has the clave that you would receive for your service. But you see things like venom blades, impalers, Hydra gauntlets, which you only see the Hydra witches use. The interesting crystal growths that they can create and the kinds of wicked serrations that they can create are beautiful in the way that you find things beautiful. And then it's the matter of actual ranged weapons, things that you've seen on real world raids. Splinter weapons being standard issue, but also heat lances, haywire blasters. Long splinter rifles. The few monofilament weapons such as the shredder. The dark light blasters and lances used specifically by the by certain cabals. Bits and pieces are loaded into the Land Raider one after another. And if you didn't know any better, or if it ever struck your fancy at a later date, this would be the perfect place to set as a forward operations base for real space raiding on this planet, if there was anything extra to actually get from this planet. Because, well, of the two hive cities you've seen, one is in ruins and full of potato-sized ratlings, and the other is simply droll. Like, the fighting ring was fun enough, but it seems that that's really the most action that a place like that gets. And so as we enter with the Land Raider loaded for bear, and each of you four equipped with enough weaponry to take down a Taurox, what is it that is going through your minds?
Wishing I had my own hunting party so I could load up like our pain loving friend, because I'm not sure how I'm gonna make out with as much as I'd like for my future hunting party, as it were.
Yes, the future hunting party. I mean, depending on how much they took and what they took, maybe you could convince them to sell it to you. Although, that's pushing your luck. Pure, what's going through your mind at the moment as you're looking over these weapons and picking out your particular loadout?
Yours mind is alert. This Tesseract thing is now close to our hands, or as close as one could get without touching it. He heads over, kind of eyeing all the racks, taking one of the hallucinogen grenades, a respirator, a dust spinner, a shuriken cannon, grabbing that sweet harlequin blade that he just saw the corner of his eye, thinking, do I dare take what isn't of mine? But at the same point, when he pockets that fusion pistol, Yes. We need the protection. He's trying to convince himself that the protection there is needed. So looting, this is okay, even though it's not ours.
I mean, the weapons have just been sitting here gathering dust, and they're much more useful in your hands. Waste not, want not, and all that. Speaking of wasting not and wanting not, Gorshmak, what is it that crosses your mind as you look across these Yumi weapons? The Yumi Daka.
Gorshmak is a little perturbed at the vast amount of weaponry that's not being utilized to wage war on the masses. And he quickly sets to digging through piles, organized or not as they may be, with a mindset of having fun with the vast amount of not quite squid ale he's just consumed.
You definitely can't be faulted. Definitely can't be faulted for that. All this Daka just sitting here gathering dust, and it's not ducking. Well, I mean, any good orc knows there's only one fix to that. And that's grab it and use it. Now, so now that we've gone through that, you know, as you dig through the piles and look for something that might be useful, something that just screams to you as the kinds of Daka that you wish to use. Farashi, what is going through your mind currently as your sisters load up on the weapons of your home, of your shared home, smiling as they reminisce of how they've used these in the arena and the kinds of damage that they could cause with them?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I just look like I'm brimming with enthusiasm. Truth of the matter is I'm establishing what weapons may be useful. Necrons are on the mind. Given what we've seen and what may come, assessing for an armored opponent, these, well, what would the orc call them? The Umis. Dreadnought power armor. Something to cut through it. If it works on that, surely Necron's near chest cavity won't be much challenge after that. Regardless of their need to continue fighting even long since being dismantled. Well, I don't suppose a machine feels fear. But I'm curious if it can be taught.
Well, therein lies the interesting thing about the Necrons. Both Eldari, both craft world and not, taught about them from a very, very young age for the simple fact of they are the oldest threat. That the Drukari normally tend to stay away from them because of the fact that they simply just get up and keep coming, and there's no screams to peel from metal. Not like there is from flesh. But you know, heavily armored targets that you've seen before, ones that do scream. Dreadnoughts being one of those things. When dealing with things like that, out of the specific arsenal, you know that dark light weaponry is normally the pick. Blast pistols, dark blasters, and dark lances, along with the requisite heat lance from a ranged perspective, to stay away, to try and engage them at distance.
Oh yes, because I'm clearly here famed for my want of distance.
When talking about getting up close and personal, power field weapons such as the clave are usually the delicious weapons of choice. As are weapons such as those that can melt and rend armor. But for the most part, the clave on your back serves you well versus armored targets. Your Hekatari blade, given the right shots, can also tear through armor.
It's almost like I've done this before.
Well,
I know that right now we're restocking specifically on drugs and grenades primarily. Last thing I need is to suddenly end up having it come back to bite me in the middle of combat. I'd rather not be doing so, and I am running a little low.
Yes, there are combat drugs stored away. Not the particular brews that you use, as those normally don't leave the arenas unless they're on a specific raiding ship carrying a witch cult on a real space raid. But there are equivalents used by the cabals that work just fine in a pinch. The hit's a little different, but it does the same job. And I mean, when you have a weapon in hand that's designed to open the tin cans to get to the fleshy insides, well, anything becomes deadly. So, upon being equipped for bear, are you headed immediately for the labyrinth that the information reliquary spoke of to the north? Or are you going to head somewhere else first?
I mean, I'm just here for the the Tesseract, as it were. So, whichever anything gets us there most directly without, dying in a series of traps.
Yes, you found very quickly that that underhive ruins trapped by small potato-shaped rat-like creatures were unpleasant, especially for a flying type such as yourself.
Wow, and despite the fact that they've probably not been here, I imagine if this bunker was set up around or contains the Tesseract, that it's not left unprotected.
Not exactly right. There's probably some kind of defense in there, but as to what that could possibly be, well, there's no real way to be sure. Not right now, at the very least. You'd have to go and investigate. We in agreement that that's what the party is going to be doing.
Agreed.
Okay. Gorshmak doesn't have any desire to do anything else here in this bunker before leaving.
Once Gorshmak's found his toys, Gorshmak ready to crump.
Gorshmak ready to crump. Farashi, is there any more information that you wish to plunder from the craft wall, the vault located here before leaving, or are you ready to see what the Labyrinth has in store for you? The one that the computer had told you is suspected to be Necron in origin. Derek?
Right now, my biggest concern is just to end up getting on task. So, we have the map, we have the coordinates, we have the weapons, we have a route.
Alright. Then, as the land raider is finished being packed, the four of you, along with the 4 Drukhari DOTs, head out into the wastelands towards the Labyrinth, which lies all of not very far to the north, given the fact that you have a vehicle to get there. If you were walking, well, this could be several days, but it's only a few hours of driving. And as you do, I would like one of you, doesn't matter which one, I would like one of you to make me an awareness test. So,
I'm gonna refresh and try again. It is not letting me roll.
I was going to ask, anybody get higher than a 4?
I think I have an 8.
you have a 6.
Oh, let's see here.
Could be that the API is throwing a fit, because I had that happen yesterday.
No, I have refreshed and it's still not letting me roll.
Yeah. I will see if it wants to roll on my end. Yep, nope, the API is chucking a fit, and I don't know why, so I will have to fix that. Alright, try now.
I will do hard refresh. Control F5. Let's see if that.
Yeah, no, the big issue with the API is just sometimes it just stops working for some reason. And I don't know why.
There we go.
And that got you... Yeah, that got you 2. Alright. Sorry, it got you 3. Okay. As you are zooming across the wastelands, everything seems to be working fine. Except for the fact that you see something off in the distance.
Okay.
And you see that with everything going on, especially in the winds that are blowing around and all of that, there is something large. Something very large. It's also very fast, being able to, at the very least, from the way that you'd be able to assess, being able to keep up with the Land Raider. And it's coming towards you.
I mean, I obviously relay this information. Do I know? Do I have any idea what it is, based on appearance?
That'll be a scholar check.
Skills. Dollar. Boop.
There we go. I restarted the API, and it's working perfectly now. Yay!
That looks like a 1.
It is a 1. You have no idea what this thing is.
I mean, what does it vaguely look like, at least?
It's this large quadrupedal, kind of like a rhino. But it's larger, easily the size of the Land Raider. It's larger, it has more horns, and it's a lot more fleshy than when one would just...
then I suppose that's what I realize, that there's a large horned very large, horned quadrupedal beast making its way for us, seemingly with the intent on specifically hurting us.
Yes. And as it's...
How far away are we talking?
We're easily talking several hundred feet, but it's getting closer.
After relaying said information, I take aim, I guess.
Alright, so you're taking aim at it? Okay.
Always use those bonuses.
Yep, no, you could definitely always use those bonuses. Where did that end up?
You said it was a scholar test to identify it, correct?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and take one if we can see it from our distance.
It's been pointed out to you now, so yes. You may.
Thank you. Just gotta make sure I load this up a little more. There we go.
Okay.
Nope, I'm an idiot.
You also got a 1. So yes, currently currently you cannot identify this thing either. It's just not a thing that you've ever seen before, but it is very big. So it's about as big as the Land Raider, and the Land Raider itself is quite large. I mean, it's a tank. So, you know. And it's running towards the Land Raider that's currently... It's managing to not only keep up, but move towards you. And the stampeding of its feet gets louder and louder and louder. So... It's been pointed out to you two, Gorshmak and Varashi, but now you can hear it. The thundering of its feet against the sand, rock, dirt, whatever you'd like to call what you would be standing in if you were standing on the ground. You know, with nary a thought for what else might actually be mixed in with it, such as the ashes of the long since deceased. But I get the feeling that someone is going to fire upon it.
What do we have currently
That's
mounted
the
on?
plan.
What was that?
Yeah, what do we have mounted to the
Rhino.
Currently, you have twin-linked las cannons mounted to the that are on a swivel.
Do we also have the heavy access to the heavy bolter?
You do have access to the heavy bolter. There is a heavy bolter there, yes. And it did come with bolts.
How many rounds of bolts?
It's a single reload of bolts because this game doesn't granularly track ammo. You only ever have to reload if you either A, salvo, or B, a complication happens that says that you're out of ammo and need to reload.
Look, the only time you need to count ammo is when Tyranids are involved, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, exactly right. Fucking Tyranids. But yes, there is a heavy bolter there, and it is within medium range of. It is within medium range of the heavy bolter if you wish to shoot it with the heavy bolter.
Is that a weapon skill test?
That would be a ballistic skill test. Because it is a gun. Weapon skill is for melee.
Not a... Actually, Yeah, fuck it. I'll give a bolter shot a try.
All right. So you're gonna try and pump a salvo
Yeah, try to
of
pump around that.
yeah, pump a round of
Yeah.
of heavy bolter fire into this thing. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll a agility ballistic skill.
Five, baby.
And a complication.
Yep.
So you are gonna hit defense. Go ahead and roll me 2d6.
Yep. 1 second. Gotta pull it out of the way. $55.
So that'll be
Well,
that'll be damage first. That'll be you're dealing 14 damage to this thing. Sorry. 16 damage to this thing because it has brutal. Now I need you to roll me another 2d6.
3 and 2.
32. Okay. So you fire a round, and you do nail this thing with a round, although it doesn't even seem to flinch. Doesn't even seem to flinch as you shoot it, and the bolt explodes. However, you hear a groaning from the gun.
Oh no.
And you're trying to shoot it again, and you're just getting a... You look around, you see... Yeah, no, there's ammo here. What's going on? You take a peek, and you see that the barrel of the bolter is jammed. So you are suffering from so the bolter is currently jammed. To fix it, it's going to be a difficulty 2 int tech test to fix it. So the shot...
Intelligence tech, correct?
Yeah, not immediately though. That'll be for the next person who tries to use the weapon. Someone will have to do the test before the weapon is fired again. But luckily it didn't malfunction. You're just lucky that like the bolt didn't explode in the barrel or whatnot, because you've known that you've heard that sometimes that can happen with especially with heavy bolters that haven't been used in a while. But you're just lucky, breathing a sigh of relief that it's jammed and not exploded or otherwise malfunctioning.
I will communicate out word, in low Gothic. It's jammed. We're not going to use it just yet. Weapon at the ready, though.
I suppose I'll take a shot.
Alright, what are you going to take a shot with?
The Ranger long rifle.
Ranger long rifle. Alright, go ahead and take a shot.
I think I have this entered correctly, but I don't know.
I can take a very quick peek for you. Ranger long rifle. It is a 10 plus 1 AD. Yeah, be 0, salvo 0. 18 is the range thing. Yes, that was a weapon skill attack. So because you actually didn't roll enough dice. Actually, wait, no, it is the same pool. It's the same pool. So no, it's fine. That's actually okay. However, you do break through its defense, and you are critical hitting this thing. So first off, before anything else, that's a point of glory. Go ahead and roll the damage for me. Alright. That's actually good, because it's only 1 extra die. So that means you actually that's actually the maximum you could have gotten on that, so...
Oh. The total of 2 threw me.
Yeah, no, it's because, the extra dice... Yeah, because it has a base damage of of 10 plus 1 extra die, so it's 10 plus up to 2 additional damage depending on what you roll.
Well, there you go.
And you
Oh,
managed to
and
get
because you did aim, go ahead and roll another 2 because you did actually aim, so it gets a bonus equal to its sniper trait.
Oh, so I just it's sniper 4.
Ranger long rifle.
Yeah. Page 220 of the
Core
core
book.
book.
Yeah, no, it only says
Sniper
sniper
4.
2. Only says sniper 2.
Oh, weird. I'm looking right at it. It says sniper 4.
Yeah, no, it's
Weird.
yeah. You know, it's only sniper 2, but you do get 2 extra dice of damage. So go ahead and
So
roll.
I just clicked the red. I just clicked the red button again then.
You'd have to click it twice more.
Oh. There you go.
So an extra 1 damage on top. Okay. Now I need you to roll 2d6 because you just critical hit this thing. And we need to figure out what that does. Critical hit table.
42.
42. All right. Because the one that you rolled doesn't work for the for what you did, because you shot it at long range. Vicious Vivisection was the one that you got, but that doesn't really make any sense. I am instead going to apply the next one down, Visceral Blow. Crimson showers the ground. The battlefield is a gory spectacle of spilled blood and unsure footing. The target will suffer a single mortal wound. There's no character engaged with it, so that doesn't matter. Now for the glory spend. For every glory you spend, the target suffers an additional mortal wound, and you may choose one of the following additional effects. You can either knock it prone, or you can make it suffer 2 shock.
Oh, I'll spend that glory. Knock that sucker prone then.
Yep. Everyone in agreement with that? Stop the big rhino thing from coming and trying to gore you.
Yeah, that'll.
All right.
Yeah, how many feet away is it?
It was getting a lot closer. Like, it was within 150 feet and closing fast.
Yeah, I'm fine with it being prone.
Yep.
All right. So it's going to be taking 2 mortal wounds and being knocked prone. I am then, so that will knock you back to 0 glory. I am then going to go ahead and spend a ruin to have this thing roll determination. It is currently taking 13 points of damage. Its resilience would knock that to 3 points of damage. As its resilience 10, it's really tough. And then, yeah, it's gonna go ahead and tank the rest. It is going to be taking those 2 mortal wounds straight up, though. It can't resist those at all. So basically what happens, Cloak, is that you take the shot. Maybe you are aiming for a joint or something similar, but you shoot it in the eye. And it roars in pain and falls to the... and you hear it thump to the ground. That roar is very unsettling, though. This some kind of, like, possessed creature, maybe? It sounds very unsettling and not at all like a regular roar. And I mean, You have a thing with you. You have an orc with you, and if anyone knows anything about roars, it's definitely gonna be the orc. And now now that it's going to be spending its time trying to get back up to its feet. Gorshmak. Is there anything you'd like to do to this, or do you just want it to speed off forward?
When Gorshmak hears the prone beast's roar, he opens his gob impossibly wide and screams his own war cry in response. Utilizing the roar of Mork ability.
Roar of Mork. Alrighty, so Roar of Mork. Open-ended.
You used to buy exploder heads, don't you, Bart?
Always.
Roar of Mork. Okay, so go ahead and roll your psychic mastery. It'll be, you can actually roll it through the power screen, because I managed to fix it. Roramork, you're getting an 8. It is difficulty 7 to pop this power, so yes, the power does pop. Okay, all enemies add +2d into their resolve tests. You unfortunately don't have any exalted icons that you could shift to the potency effects whilst still being able to succeed. But not bad at all. So you are shaking this thing's resolve as Gorshmak, your roar echoes across the wasteland, almost unnaturally so, like it's reflecting off the mountains and coming back to your ears. That this current low-lying plain that you're on just echoes with the sound of your roar. Again, it's still getting up. Farashi, is there anything that you would like to do, or do you just want to tell whoever's driving to step on it?
Why? I have a las cannon. Twin-linked, in fact.
You do have a twin-linked las cannon. Would you like to fire the twin-linked las cannon at this thing?
I would like to fire the twin-linked las cannon at this thing.
Wonderful. All right, let me just pull up the stuff for the twin-link for our las cannon. Alrighty. Go ahead and roll me a. Ballistic skill agility test, please. That is 3 and a complication, and considering it is prone right now, you will hit. So go ahead and roll me a 66. That's 2, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6. Alright, so this thing's taking 24 damage. Now I need you to roll me 2d6 for the complication.
$53.
53. Okay. So, what happens here is you fire the weapon, and it nails its target. It's going to go ahead and I'm gonna spend a ruin to roll a determination here. But what happens is there is a rock that the Land Raider hits in just such a way that it throws you back and knocks you prone within the Land Raider. It's just at the wrong thing at the wrong time, and just boop, knocks you.
Remind me to execute the driver after this.
Yes, you are. It is an irritating thing. I mean, you just got thrown around in here. But now it is to go ahead. It's made this. It's 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 11, 11,
Remember, its
12,
determination is
11 and 12 is 23, it's 20, and you see that shooting the las cannon at it, you put a hole in this thing when you manage to get back up to look. You did put a hole in this thing. It is no longer moving. Or if it is, it's moving very slowly. And you can see that there is this massive stain of purple beginning to flow out onto the mixture of ash and sand.
Does it look familiar?
No.
Nothing like Jimmy.
No, nothing like Jimmy. And it actually needs to make another test because I realized that that's a thing. And it has a +2 difficulty thanks to the Roar of Morg. That's D10s. Because I can't type apparently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, 8. That is not going to be enough. It was going to do a thing with its dying breath because I checked how many wounds it had. And no, it's not gonna be able to do anything about that. It is dead. So Farashi, if you've taken any shock, you'll be regaining some shock right about now. I don't think you have though.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but you do hear that it goes silent. And Cloak, because you were the one who was who saw it in the first place, you can see that it is no longer moving towards you, and it is, if it's not dead, after the las cannon shots, the twin las cannon shots just ripping through this thing's torso or carapace or whatever you'd want to call it.
How sure am I that it's dead or probably dead? On a scale of like 1 to Zombieland rules, how do I want to tap it again just to be safe?
Considering the amount of what you could only figure is what counts for its blood, like being deep enough that you could go swimming in it, there's no harm in a double tap.
Right, I'll fire again just to be safe then, because I would rather not mess with that thing.
Alright.
Just hoping my gun doesn't explode in my face
Go ahead
as soon as
and
the shit explodes.
go ahead and shoot it. No, you're going to critical hit it again. Yeah, no, you are gonna hit it. You are gonna hit it. Go ahead and roll your damage, and then roll 2d6. So it's just gonna be 10 damage, and then go ahead and roll 2d6 for me.
64.
64. Appalling detonation. Ill fortune causes the blow to strike the foe's volatile war gear. A chain of explosions tears their body apart into grisly red mist.
I am perfectly okay with somehow detonating a rhino.
You basically pop its stomach, is what happens with the bullet. You can see that you hit an organ on the inside of it, and Barashi, Pure, and Gorshmak, all you hear next is just this loud pop. Cloak, make me an athletics, please. And you manage to duck back inside just fast enough as the next thing you hear is the sound of across the side of the Land Raider.
Better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry. If you peek back outside, you would see that the one side of the Land Raider, the one that was facing this creature, is now painted a very nice purple color.
Does this purple color smell good?
No, not particularly.
Then we will ignore the purple smell.
It smells like durian.
Running something. Gross.
I throw the respirator on.
Yeah, you have the respirator on,
What
so
smell?
you can't actually smell it. But Farashi and Gorshmak inside, this just putrid odor hits your nose. It's bad. It's like Farashi, you would liken it to someone not having cleaned the slave pens for like a week, and one of the slaves has died in there, and no one's bothered to clean it up because the little homunculus flesh wrought creation that one of the homunculi might have made went and died or got dropped into a vat of some unmentionable substance, and they just haven't bothered to clean it up yet. It's a pretty foul odor, all things considered.
Gorshmak, things smell like orc kisses.
Yeah, that's actually a not a bad analogy for that. But you drive onward, and eventually one of the devotees speaks up as well. It's like, what smells like an abandoned slave pen?
Nothing. There is no abandoned slave pens.
I mean, you're right, but it sounds like someone hasn't cleaned for like a month. Sorry, for a cycle. It's just like, I think the only thing I smelt worse than this is that one time we went to that planet and dealt with that disgusting rot demon.
Wasn't that the one with all the pustules?
Yeah, that was the one with all the pustules. It was gross, and I mean, it made some very delicious sounds as we tore its flesh apart, but oh, we learned
Let's
very
just keep deal with it.
yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm drinking in my sister's own suffering of this particular point. It's a very, very mild bit, but it's like junk food.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is a lot like junk food. The suffering of your fellow madam. It's just there's something to be said about it. Whilst it's kind of taboo, it's also just so good. And there's nothing wrong with having some guilty pleasures. You know, just as there's nothing wrong with having guilty pleasures, so long as you make sure that you keep focused on what you're meant to be doing, lest she who thirsts comes, lest she who thirsts comes for your soul, because that's the last thing you want. Now, there's no other distractions that lead between now and when you reach this labyrinth. Unlike the more grandiose entrance of the Eldari bunker, this just seems to be a metal door in the ground. And it's not even locked. It's just a metal door. It's a little stuck, but nothing a bit of elbow grease won't be able to pull open. I mean, given how old it is, one of the strongest of you could probably wrench off the doors with very little effort.
You say elbow grease. I hear orc strength. And I invite our orc friend to test his might and open it up.
The sneaky fly Yumi is attempting to test your strength, Gorshmak. He says that you should test your strength by opening this door here.
We said the door is level with the ground. Is that right?
Yes, it's level with the ground. There are handles and whatnot, so...
What's your dice pool for that, Bart? Total. Sure.
6, I believe.
Okay, never mind.
Gorshmax... It'd be a strength athletics. It's an 8.
8, yes.
Then, by all means.
The Yumi is said to test your might.
Gorshmak kind of laughs at the little bird man, lizard bird man, as it were, and rather than approaching the door before him, he starts to... Actually, don't know if I can even do this against something that's not an enemy, but starts to glow with some of his green gaseous energy as he prepares to crush the door with the power of the crunch.
All enemies at a blast 6 radius. Yeah, no, normally this is an enemy thing, but considering you're manifesting a physical phenomenon to attack a physical object, I'd consider it as an enemy.
Excellent.
Go ahead and roll to crunch. 11 successes. You do have the ability to shift 2 of those icons, so you can give yourself a +1 on the roll to repeat the effect if you wish.
I would like to do that, I think.
Alright, so go ahead and roll a d6. That's enough because you did give yourself a +1 on that. So go ahead and roll me 2d3, please. You can use the dice roller on the crunch to change the number of dice to 2, and then hit the die that looks like it has a 3 on it, and that'll roll 2d3. 2. Did you get both ones? Oh, you did. That's more than fine. So, Cloak, you ask Gorshmak to test his might by opening this door, and he does. Specifically by letting this green mist flow out of his eyes, nose, mouth, and ears, gathering into a cloud above this door, and then you see just a pair of feet go wham straight into this steel door, completely caving the door. It would be inwards, except for the fact that you hit it so hard that the doors literally bounce up off the stairs underneath them and end up landing a ways in front of this now open entryway. The doors are no longer on their hinges. There's this that the hinges are now naught but torn metal. And the only thing that resides now is this thundering crash. Torn metal, the doors flown maybe 3 or 4 meters in front of where they were bound. And it's open. You can definitely say that it's open.
Good job. That's one dead war boss in your future, I expect. I should look to the other crew. Like, did I say that right?
Translation of you's gonna be the biggest war balls ever. Balls.
Yep.
Gorshmak agree. Gorshmak also think Yumi is first.
Again, turning to the group. Us first. Him last.
There's almost this there's almost this unanimous decision from the 4 devotees as all 4 of them look to you and go on then.
Yeah. I cloak up and
I'll take lead. If the sisters want to be derisive like this, I will challenge their derision and head first.
Alright, and you are stealthing away with a 5. Alrighty. Farashi, you've just seen Gorshmak punch this door, or kick this door open without even moving his feet. His own feet. And you've seen Cloak disappear and Pure basically get told by your devotees, yeah, you're going first.
Well, I'm glad that all my plans have been left to front. Still, the whole kicking the door down without raising foot would be impressive. A very rudimentary use of psionic power, but... Well, I guess I should be impressed that the greenskin has evolved as such. Terrifying, really.
Yes, if only they had the discipline to know. If they had the discipline to know how it is that their powers actually worked, they would become the most terrifying race in the entirety of the galaxy. And
The galaxy was saved by its stupidity.
very, very much so. But you see a set of stairs, concrete stairs, leading down into a place of very obviously imperial architecture. You can see that there is a soft glow emanating from further down inside. It's quite a ways away, but you could barely see it from topside. But Pure, you said you said that the derision you were going to meet the derision by going first.
Yes, I will have my galvanic rifle and my newest knife, which I didn't write down yet because, difficulty.
Yep.
But my knife at the ready.
Alright.
And that would be the Harlequin's blade.
Yep, the Harlequin's blade, okay.
So I reattach the chain bayonet.
Yep. And you start walking down the stairs. And it looks to...
Here.
You don't hear anything out of the ordinary. Not at the moment. The hum of electricity, perhaps, but that's not really out of the ordinary. If they the Monkai could have found some kind of archaeotech generator technology that allowed them to generate electricity for an indefinite period, or some kind of crazy thing like that. You're not really sure how that works, but considering that you found that the old Eldari bunker had power. But you continue down, and Yeah, there's nothing that really out of the ordinary that greets you, except for the fact that the light is getting closer, and it's green.
Do I know what the green means? Can I?
It could really be anything.
I will slowly approach the bottom of the stairs.
Right. You slowly you approach the bottom of the stairs. And this is what greets you. It's this concrete tunnel lit with green lights.
Oh, that's not terrifying. Or unsettling.
Pipes wind around the walls, going off in left and right and up and down into different places. Although there's not really any indication as to what it is that they might be.
Do I hear anything besides the crackle and hum of actual electricity from Monkai creation?
You can, but it doesn't seem to be coming from any place in particular. But you can hear the crackle of energy of Monkai creation. It's just this hum, like the hum of a fluorescent bulb.
Does anything smell off, taste off in the air?
Roll me an awareness test.
You got it.
All right, that is 2 and a glory. Yeah, distantly. It is distant. It's a very faint scent, but you do smell the smell of rotting corpse.
Who is directly behind me?
I imagine me.
Yes, most likely.
Do you smell that?
That's a good question. Do I, or shall I roll an awareness?
I will need you to roll on awareness.
He most definitely does.
Yeah, you smell it
And,
too.
and with that question, does anything show up on my my Omni spec at this distance?
What you see is energy signatures. There's a few small ones in about there's a few small ones about 25 meters away from you, and there is a massive one that's being picked up, but it is outside of the range to actually tell you anything more about it. But it at least 250 to 300 meters down, there is a massive energy signature.
In response to the question of whether or not I smell it, only the reply you get is just wasted food.
That's one way to look at it. Wasted food. And
And with that, I suppose I'll go scout ahead just to be safe for the rest of the party.
Do you tell me that there's something off?
I can only smell that it's the same as you, right? So,
Yep.
wasted food, rotting corpses. He doesn't know any more than you do at this moment.
Then I will speak to one of the sisters in Eldari as you scout ahead.
Yep.
And I will relay what we're smelling to one of the sisters.
And she scrunches up her nose. It's like, ugh. Then there's something down here. And they're all going to ready their weapons and look to you, Farashi, for guidance. Like, there's something down here.
Well, hate to miss out on all the fun. I end up grabbing the head of my glaive and end up proceeding forward.
Yep.
I'll lead the remaining group toward the last known location of Cloak and then forward.
Okay.
Putting up a fake but palpable bravado.
Yep. And as you move forward, you were going to say something, Cloak?
Nothing important. Go ahead.
Yep, and as you begin to move forward, there's the sound of something that Cloak, as you all move forward, there's a sound of something that reaches your ears first. Sound of squelching.
Is it rhythmic or arrhythmic? Well,
Rhythmic. Pure, you would hear this next, and then finally the sisters Farashi and Gorshmak would.
Does this sound like something I've encountered before?
No.
Oh, lovely. In that case, I will march on, kind of moving on. Again, leading the pack with knife in hand.
but I as a player get a sense that this is, it's depending on the rhythm bit of the squelching. This is either a trap or if it's like a patterned rhythm, something beating. So I'm curious as to what you would like me to roll to determine if I have any sense as to what this is.
Given the fact that you have an Omnispecs and you're not picking up life signs. The only life signs you're picking up are your group. You could make a scholar test for me. That is 4. You're not exactly sure, but in that same breath, you're not picking up life signs, but you're hearing noises.
So I assume crap.
You assume that you would assume that it would have to be some kind of trap, yes.
Or mechanical killing device, which I don't even want to think about considering what we're worried about in terms of mechanical issues. So I guess I would take like a monoblade or something to because I don't want to scooch back to the party to alert them to this. So I indicate on the wall, quick little low gothic or sketch, trap ahead. I continue to make my way forward towards the noise cautiously.
Yes. So as you move forward cautiously,
And in case it's important, I am not standing upright for this. I am scurrying.
yeah. As you're moving forward, the squelching gets louder and louder, and the smell gets even more pungent. Like it smells like rot, death and rot. And you come to a point where the sound and the smell are coming from around the next corner to the left.
Here's where I wish I had like a little tiny mirror on a stick or something. I suppose I don't have any means to check this out other than to, while stealth, quickly poke my head about to see if I can get you a glimpse of.
Yep. You can poke your head around the corner. Just poking your head around the corner, you see something there, but whatever it is doesn't see you.
That's the general idea. Why they call me Cloak.
But what I would like you to do before anything else is please make me a corruption test.
And where?
You can find that on the main page. You can find it under mental social tests. Resist corruption.
There we go. Thank you.
You are going to be taking 2 corruption from this. So your corruption points go up by 2 as you see the walls and floor painted in dried blood and putrid flesh. I also need you to make me a fear test, please, which is rolling resolve. what you
Yeah, I wish
see.
I'd put any sort of points into that.
I believe it's based on it's willpower -1.
Oh, wish I had known that at the time.
But you look upon what this thing, it turns around. It doesn't see you, but it turns around, and you see this metal thing wearing the flesh and skeleton of something, and it's rotten flesh at that. So it's this grays and blues and black and red and brown and yellow. And it seems to be gnawing on a chunk of rotten flesh. And as it moves, you see that there is another one behind it. And whilst you may not feel fear in the traditional sense, there is something about this that makes you take pause. Such deep pause. It is something that strikes you in the deepest pits of your brain.
I am now extra grateful I have that psychic power that effectively hides my presence.
Yes, you do. You do have the minor psychic power that allows you to do that. But the pet. So you are currently under the fear condition. The penalty lasts until the end of the scene or until an ally passes a leadership check, DN5. A leadership willpower test.
Because hereabouts is when I start making my way back to the party. I was like, nope, and I get.
You stumble back and make your way back to the party. And maybe you're wearing your emotions a little bit more on your sleeve at the moment, but there's this. You can't help but have this wide-eyed, anxious look just painted all over your face. Are you going to uncloak, or are you going to remain cloaked?
Oh no, I suppose for the sake of the party, I will uncloak.
So you see
So,
that.
Yeah, I get up to the party, and for those of our audience who are unaware, Cloak is a Kroot, which makes him a sort of lizard bird person, but because of his void skin, which is this special type of thing that allows him to resist space, for example, he looks almost like the Deacon Xenomorph, right? He's got that oily carapace style to him. So this weird carapace alien bird person pops into existence in front of them from being cloaked with this just shocked wide eyes. It looks ridiculous, I'm sure. Just these big ass, like I saw a ghost sort of look.
Yeah, Farashi, Pure, Gorshmak, and the four Drukari devotees see this. That's what you would see. You would see this look of just sheer fear. Brush, you are most likely deriving some pleasure from this. This bird alien thing is scared, as it well should be. But it doesn't seem like it's scared of you.
Now I was at first amused, now I just feel insulted. Well, let's go see what this thing has to say.
Are you just gonna walk up into its
I of course described to them as best I can what I saw.
Yep.
I'm sure that I'm supposed to say thank you this. I'm not going to, but that's what is expected. And at this point, I'm going to continue my path down. I'm keeping an eye out. This thing is obviously distressed over something else that isn't me. I want to know what that is. I have more than words.
And as you round the corner, like you walk by, and there's this T intersection. You look around the corner into the adjacent hallway. You see it. Oh, you definitely see it. I'm gonna need a resist corruption test followed by a resolve.
Resist corruption. Where would I find that?
It is on the main page under mental and social rules.
And resolve roll as well.
Yep. Thrashi, you managed to resist the corruption. There's no extra corruption happening here. It's very messy, and it's disgusting, and it smells, but it's not anything that you haven't really seen before. But when your eyes fall upon this creature, this thing wearing the flesh and skeleton of another humanoid creature, there's something within you that sparks as well. Most Drukari don't feel fear in the traditional sense, but this is activating your self-preservation instinct. Your mind, every nerve in your body is screaming, "Get the hell away from this thing!" And you see the pair of them, although it still seems like they haven't seen you just yet. So you are also under the, I believe you're under the fear condition. I don't think you have anything that makes you immune to fear. Yep, so you would be under the fear condition as well, which puts a +2 difficulty on all tests that you make until either the end of the scene or someone passes a willpower leadership difficulty 5. Unless, oh wait, no, it's the Wrath die that which can't be rerolled with Wrath. Otherwise, that'd be like, yeah, go for it. You could attempt to Wrath reroll one of those dice and Wrath reroll those dice and hope you get. Actually, it won't even reroll them. Yeah, no. So there's not really any way to get out of that because you failed by 1. But this thing, it's horrifying, but not in the good way. It's like the homunculus, the homunculus that took Hecatari combat drugs that one time and went on a flesh crafting spree, and the kinds of horrors that came out of that. Whoop, you were gonna say something? You were gonna say something, Gorshman?
Does Farashi then return as Cloak did, wide-eyed and practically frothing?
No. She's trying to end up stealing herself more than anything, which is difficult. The heart beats hard in her chest. She's gripping hold of the weapon itself and wait. If they haven't seen her, perhaps she should end up remaining. If she can't get into a lunging position, she'll never defend herself. She can escape at any point she wants. That she's trying to rationalize it. There's something else. She doesn't want to end up giving into it. But it's everything she can to not have her weapons tremble in hand and trying not to end up leaving it upon the floor, just escaping with everything that her legs would carry. Still, we have to press on. But it's best to this. Live this down.
Seeing that Farashi doesn't return, Gorshmak seems even more perturbed than necessarily distraught at Cloak's fear. He claps a big, meaty hand on the Kroot's shoulder. Yumi, you snap out of this. Tell exactly what you saw. You owe Gorshmak Squigale! And I'd like to try to make a leadership role to lead my Squig Ale brewing compatriot back into the Chaos Beast.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and make a willpower leadership. This will also snap Farashi out of her fear because she can hear you if you succeed. It is difficulty 5. That is 3. If you would like, you do have Wrath that you can spend to re-roll those failed dice.
Yeah, I would re-roll that.
Yep. So go ahead and hit the re-roll button on the little dice box. That only gives you 4.
Not gonna do it.
It's not gonna do it.
I mean, if you can spend that glory, I don't know if you can, but I'm okay with that.
There is also a glory which would give you 1 extra die to roll, which would leave it to chance, 50-50.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I don't know how everyone else feels.
I'm okay with it.
Pure and Farashi, are you alright with Gorshmak spending the glory to try and snap you guys out of your fear?
Yes.
Yep. That's definitely a yes.
Everyone
Alright.
says yes.
Yes. So go ahead and roll 1d6. Need a 4 or higher.
Bah!
Yeah, despite all the effort that you're trying to shake into a cloak, Gorshmak, He's hearing you. He really is, but he's just not. He's just not there. This whatever he saw is whatever he saw has really rattled him something shocking.
I have a stupid question.
I don't
Do I
really think that
smell
there are.
Okay. Do I smell the corruption on him?
The corruption?
Yes.
No.
The 2 points I picked
It's
up.
very,
which
very,
were, like,
very low level, so no.
Okay.
my first 2.
I'll try a leadership test.
Yeah, you see that Gorshmak's trying to shake some sense at the cloak, and it's just not working. You may attempt a willpower leadership test. You're looking for difficulty 5. That's 4. You could spend the wrath and try and make it a 50-50 to try and succeed. That will do it.
That will.
So, Pure, you go over to Cloak now. And there's the how do you snap him out of it?
I'm gonna look at him and his dead, screaming eyes. Grab him by the collarbone, or what would equivalent to the collarbone, and speak purely in Kroot. The Shapers want us to succeed. The Shapers need us to succeed. Whatever is down there is preventing that from happening. Do you want to upset the Shapers? No.
And
We will overcome and go forward and fight as good mercenaries do. You hear me?
and Cloak, that rousing speech from Pure is enough to bring you back to your senses. And Farashi, even though it wasn't aimed at you, you are also able to kind of pick up on the gist of the gist of what's going on, the thought that being afraid only causes disappointment. Being afraid only time spent afraid. A Drukari who is afraid cannot cause fear.
It is useless.
It is useless. And the thoughts that those thoughts also go through your mind as you're hearing the clicking and whistling of the Kroot language, and it allows you to the noises snap you out of the stupor enough to allow you to steel yourself against the oncoming against what is there. Although now that you are being allowed, there is going to be an awareness test.
I take it this means I have to roll stealth.
If you would like to hide, yes.
I'll roll awareness if needed.
For you, it would also be stealth.
Mine would also be stealth.
Yep.
Screw me, why don't you?
That is 7 from them, because Exalted Icons are worth 2. also forgot I gain a point of ruin from the failed corruption test earlier. But the loud clicking, the squelching stops. The sound of squelching crunches begins to come closer. It's not really a lot of caution about it. It just seems there's two sets of squelching crunches coming towards you, towards the group. They know something's there, so you're probably not going to be able to ambush them. So we are going to start a combat. No one is currently under fear. Although Pure and Gorshmak, the first time you lay eyes on these things, you are going to be making a fear test.
That would be a simple resolve test, right?
Resolve test from both of you.
I'll go ahead and roll that just in case.
Yep. That is only 2, which means when you see them, you now you will see what at the very least from what you could definitely tell why Cloak was so afraid. Gorshmak. Complication. Okay, that's actually an interesting one. A resolve test, because you do make it through, so me inflicting it. Give me a moment, and I will. I will go
No,
ahead.
fuck me running. Hang on, give me like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, just gives me a chance to look this up because.
Oh, I just realized it was 025 and I ain't taking my medication.
Ah, that is important. Yes.
We're good.
All right. Where is not combat complications? Just looking for regular complications. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Gorshmak, you're not afraid. But as these things come into view, you can't help but be reminded of something in your past. You've seen these things before. You don't remember what they're called, but what are they doing here? What are they doing here of all places? It's it's a disturbing thing. And so I am going to apply a different condition to you for the turn. For this first round, you are hindered. But we come to combat. And it's the aged's first. So which of you four would like to go first? Currently Pure is under fear. And Gorshmak is under hindered.
What does fear... Go ahead, Sebastian.
No, go ahead. You're fine. I was just gonna say I'm back down the hallway with you, so there's some distance between us. So I'd like to not go first if I might.
Yep. No, you can choose to not go first. But fear is +2 difficulty to all tests.
Thank you. I'm fine going second or third. Or first if nobody really wants it.
Farashi, you would be staring these things headlong.
What does the hindered condition do?
+1 difficulty to I believe to all tests. +1 difficulty to all tests for a round.
And fear is continual.
Yep, it's until it's either cleared with a leadership willpower test, difficulty 5 in this case, or the scene ends.
Okay, the creatures are dead.
Yeah. Until you've dealt with the source of the fear, which is these things. But yeah, no, for us, you'd be staring these things headlong. Gorshmak, you'd also be pretty much right there, and Cloak and Pure a little ways back, along with the devotees. So, yeah, it's I know, yeah, Cloak and Pure are not looking to go first. Gorshmak, would you like to go first, or?
I can do that.
All right, that
I'll
works.
go after Gorshmak.
Okay.
Seeing these things he recognizes from a past encounter, Gorshmak first pulls one of his bottles of not quite swig ale from his packs, opens and downs it, which I think will have me roll a toughness test was it?
Oh yeah, that's a toughness test.
Before activating the Warpath ability to channel the power of his Wa into those fighting alongside him.
Yep, make your toughness test, and then go ahead and make your test for Warpath. You passed the toughness test. And then your test for Warpath... Whoop. Your test for Warpath will be... Nine. It's difficulty 6. So +2 bonus dice to all melee attacks they attempt, and they may ignore up to 2 points of DN increase for taking multi-attack or multi-action options. And you can shift one of those exalted into increasing the damage, the difficulty reduction by 1, or adding another bonus die to melee attacks.
Oh, I think I will shift it to reducing the difficulty number.
Yep. So you can ignore up to 3 points of. So all of you will be able to ignore up to 3 points of difficulty increase for taking multi-attack or multi-action options, and that is sustained for a round. So you are going to do that, and then one of my threats is going to go. because none of you have a glory. You don't have a glory to try and seize the initiative off me. At the start of their turns, because of their dynasty, I'm going to gain a ruin, and then I'm going to go ahead, and this one is going to go ahead and attack the closest person, the one that they've seen, which is going to be Farashi.
Well, there's only one
skill
taking at this point, isn't there?
At the moment, yes. They are skill 9.
Let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is your defense?
My defense is 4.
So they are going to hit you. This one is going to hit you. It's going to go ahead and roll damage. Which is... It's this many dice. It has tearing, so it can re-roll any number of those dice, and it's going to re-roll all 3 of them. Which will give it 2. What is your resilience?
6.
6. 5. Alright, so you are currently looking at 8 wounds. Would you like to roll determination? Three. Alright, so currently, just gonna very quickly check your powers. Yes. Okay. Yep, so... And your agility is 6. 6 and... Yes, 7. Okay. So you will be taking 3 shock and 5 wounds as that attack just straight up tears into your flesh, these flensing talons that this thing possesses.
3 shock and how many wounds?
5. Like, it takes a massive chunk out of you. It hurts.
I imagine so.
You could feel pain flooding. Pain flooding through your senses. And then I'm gonna spend a ruin to have it run up half of its speed, and its speed is that. It's going to move over to the next closest person, which is going to be Gorshmak. And it's also going to attack Gorshmak. Can only do this once per turn. It can only do it once per turn, and only if I spend a ruin. So... that's going to be a critical hit. Gorshmak. What's your defense?
2.
That's definitely going to hit. So it's going to go ahead and first off roll. That's 4. Did not mean to roll that many. It is only 3. It's going to use tearing to re-roll all of those dice. And gives it 1. Then it needs to roll 2d6 because it did critical hit you. That's a 33. Okay. Critical hit table. A 33. Merciless strike. A blow to the foe's body steals the breath from their lungs, pulverizing their innards with a nasty crunch. So you are going to suffer a mortal wound. Gorshmak, you're going to suffer a mortal wound. And then, what is your resilience?
11.
Would you like to roll determination on the 1 wound that you're facing? Sorry, 2 wounds that you're facing.
Yes.
Yep, so go ahead and roll your determination for me. And you are going to be turn both those wounds into shock, so you'll take 2 shock from this. But that is my threat's turn, and it's going to end its turn in front of you. Who would like to go? So Gorshmak is gone. Who would like to go next? I think Piro, you said you were going to go next.
Oh, okay. Yes, it was.
Okay. So there is one of these things right in front of Gorshmak that you saw take just a massive chunk out of Farashi, and then move over and attack Gorshmak as well. Gorshmak seemed to tank it quite a bit better, though. Maybe it's the Orky constitution.
As I don't have it set up, I'll do something else because I don't have the weapon set up to work.
Okay.
I don't want to have you set it up real quick. That's fine. Next turn, I'll have you prepare it. We're gonna make a galvanic rifle shot at this thing.
Okay, so you are firing. Right, so this will count as firing into melee. If you roll a complication, you are going to hit Gorshmak instead.
Actually, how will you use the chain bayonet attached to the rifle?
So you're going to run up and make a melee attack against it then?
Oh yeah, we're gonna rush.
All right, so you're actually going to you're going to like straight up charge this thing then.
We're going to rev and charge.
Rev and charge, radio. Okay, so
Make an attack.
melee attack options, charge. Yep. So you can move up to double your speed and make a melee attack with +1 bonus die. So yep, you can go ahead and do that. You get a +1 bonus dice to this attack.
What do I add the bonus die?
It will be the ABD box on your chain bayonet.
ABD 1 roll.
Yep.
And then damage.
Let me just see if you hit it first. Okay. Okay. So you did roll a complication. You do hit it, but you do roll a complication.
Okay, so 2d6.
Yes, please. 2d6 and then damage.
Yes, sir.
Oh, did you add your +2 dice for melee from Warpath? Just in case you get any icons to shift.
To which one?
Your
'Cause
attack roll.
no.
So then go ahead and roll an extra 2d6 for the attack roll, just in case you roll a, just in case you happen to roll like an exalted icon that you want to shift for extra damage or something. Because any exalted icons you get, you'll be able to shift because you're making it just on number of icons that you have alone.
Yep. I just need to shrink this window slightly.
Yep.
I can see what I'm typing.
So that gets you another 1. All right. Yeah. So go ahead
and roll attack.
Yep. Roll the damage and roll 2d6. Damage is 12. And the complication is 23. Right. Complications, you roll a 23. You stick it in there real far. But when you try and pull it out, it's stuck.
How stuck?
It's gonna take you a difficulty 3 strength test to recover the weapon.
I will give you that difficulty 3 strength test.
Yep, you can. I will allow an attempt now. You are at a +2 for it though, so technically it's a difficulty 5 strength test because you fear.
All right.
That'll be 3. Yeah, there's not going to be any complication that happens this time. It's just going to be stuck. You try and yank it out,
Okay.
and it's stuck. However, it is going to do a thing whereupon...
Do I get the -3 DN from the Warpath?
That is for multi-attack or multi-action options.
Okay, so no.
No.
Thank you.
You do...
And thank you, Bart.
You do rather, deal a little damage to this thing, though. Managing to, sever some of the bits on the inside, which... It's a mixture of squelching of organic material, but the grinding of the teeth, the chain bayonet's teeth against metal. Now it's the other one. And it is going to come up and attempt to attack you. What's your defense?
Is that?
Perol, what's your defense? And you can find it on the combat page.
That's a 3, buddy.
So this is gonna hit. However, this thing is gonna combat complicate. So
Cool.
3d6 of a 4. It's rolling. Alright, so it's rolling 14 damage. 14 damage overall. However, that's before your resilience, and then it needs to roll 2d6 for the combat complication. She's gonna get a 35. You see that one of its flensing talons is actually going to get stuck, tangled up in the mixture between your armor, like the primitive carapace armor that you're wearing, and your flesh. How much? What's your resilience?
9 over 2.
9. Okay. So you're looking at 5 damage. Would you like to roll determination?
You're goddamn right.
Go ahead and roll determination.
I am filled with goddamn determination.
You are. So you're going to be taking 5 shock rather than 5 wounds.
Alright, and then I just add that to my shot counter of 6.
You will decrease your shock counter by that much. So you're on 1 shock.
Which means what for those listening?
If your shock reaches 0, you will become exhausted, which is very nasty. It means that like your actions become limited. You start taking more difficulty penalties.
Okay.
Things like that.
So
Tanking
it's
that.
like loss of willpower.
Yeah, like a mixture between a loss of willpower and stamina.
Okay.
Whereas wounds is like your actual physical constitution.
Continue.
Pirol, that takes a lot out of you, but you managed to grit your teeth through it. To grit your teeth through it and just keep going. But you can't take another one of those.
No.
Now it comes to either Cloak or Farashi. Who would like to go next?
I think having seen all this unfold, especially after that rousing speech and that there's an enemy right there, if I might, I'd like to attack with my newly acquired Huskblade that I'm not 100% sure I have entered correctly.
I can have
Well, it is mostly the strength +6 that I unsure as to how to enter.
Yep, so the base DR will be whatever the plus is. So if it's strength +6, it'll be the base DR will be 6.
Alright, okay, I think I have this entered correctly then. I'm not 100% sure.
Yep, that is correct. So yeah, if
to my understanding is, go ahead.
Oh no, go right ahead.
So, and is it weapon skill?
It is a weapon skill initiative attack. Yes.
Perfect. I think I have this entered correctly. This.
Yep. That's you're hitting and critting it. Now before you make your swing, you do have the ability. First off, you have 2 bonus dice to this attack, and second off, because they are both within, you can move to have them both within range, and because of Gorshmak's Warpath, you can make a multi-attack against both of them without any penalty.
I would like to do that.
Alright, so go ahead and roll 2 additional d6 first. For your first, for your attack against the first one.
Oh, sorry. I'll do that again since I'm 13.
So that'll just be two planks. Because successes. But that's fine. You are hitting it. And critting it. So for this first one, go ahead and roll your damage, and then roll 2d6 for me. So that'll be So there's a. Alright, so that's a 51. For your critical hit table. So that's a 51.
Oh yes, right. Yeah.
So that's a 51. Overpowering assault. A stunning blow sends the foe lurching away, senses blurred by the brutal impact. Target suffers 1d6 shock and is staggered. Now, this target can't suffer shock for any reason. However, you do stagger it. It is staggered. And staggering Well, I will read out what staggering does. You're off balance. You've run too fast over rough terrain, ordnance is impacted nearby, or you've been clipped by a stray bullet. When you move while staggered, your speed is reduced by half. You can't run or sprint unless otherwise stated. Ends at the beginning of the next round. So you
Now,
do.
this weapon has mortal D3.
Yes.
What?
That
Okay.
triggers if you roll a 6 on any of the if you roll an exalted icon on any of the damage dice, and you only rolled a regular icon and 3 3s.
Cool, making sure.
However, you are dealing 10 damage to it. AP -2. And this one, because this was the one that attacked Peror, this one hasn't been this one has been damaged. Yes. Yeah, this one has been damaged. So you deal a little bit more damage to this thing. Now go ahead, because you're doing a multi-attack, go ahead and roll your attack with the plot. Make sure you put the +2 in the ABD box for your husk blade.
You?
So that'll be that one there.
No, that's the wrong. I clicked the wrong thing. Alright, there we go.
That's gonna be 2
Okay.
and a combat complication. Would you like to spend a wrath to try and turn it into a hit? Because the complication.
Sure, why not? I'm gonna wrap this down.
Yep. So go ahead and hit the reroll. Because basically you're gonna take the combat complication no matter what. You may as well try and turn it into a hit, right?
Better?
Nope. That is going to miss. Go ahead and roll 2d6 for me, please. That's a 64. You hit it, but you don't hit any damaging spot. In fact, you hit some kind of you've hit one of the fleshy parts of this thing, and some rotten, putrid blood kind of splats off and hits you in the eyes. You are blinded for a round. I will say, given the fact that you have senses out the wazoo currently, by virtue of your hypersensitive quills and whatnot, I will say that instead of increasing the DN for any site-related tasks by 4, that'll be the case. Although considering you can see the energy signatures of these things, it'll only be 2 for combat tests, because you can actually kind of half sense where they are. The blindness will last until the end of your next turn.
Cool. Just hope I don't immediately die.
That will finally, however, bring it up to Farashi. Farashi, you've had this chunk taken out of you by this thing. It's run over and it's attacked Peror. Peror's been attacking it. Gorshmak's been attacking it. It's been a mess. Although it doesn't look like anyone's taken any major amounts of damage besides yourself at the moment.
Well, guess I shouldn't be surprised. Well, allow me to end up asking.
Yep.
Does... I think on how best to explain the question. You said there was 2, if I recall.
There is 2.
Am I allowed to end up attacking both in an all-out?
Yeah, you can all out multi-attack if you'd like. What happens with that is you're getting a +2 from Gorshmak and you're negating the penalties of the multi-attack thanks to Warpath. The Warpath buff that you're getting. If you all out attack, you'll get an additional +2, but you'll take a -2 to your defense.
At this rate, I ain't gonna make it if I don't. So.
All right, so you're gonna make a pair of all out attacks against these. So you're rolling with a all up a +4. I mean, are you gonna be popping Hecatari combat drugs? Because I do.
Yeah.
Because I do need to ask you about that.
Yeah, I kind of got to. But I'm trying to think on which version of it take. Let's see. Speed +2. I believe there's a strength +2 variant.
Strength +3. And it's the Grave Lotus.
Yeah, so we'll end up going with Grave Lotus.
Sure. So you're going to take a shot at Grave Lotus, which will up your strength by 3, which I should be able to do through attributes here. Oh, yeah, buff is applied. Buff is applied. Because that was the last one you used. So, you're at a +4, a +4 to strike. Go ahead and make it attack against the first one. That's going to be 9. Yeah, you're definitely going to hit that, and you could shift that Exalted Icon into more damage if you'd like.
I would like to.
Cool. Now, I believe the...
So that's +1 damage die?
Yep, +1 damage die. But not only that, I believe the Clave had Rending. Oh, no, Clave only has parry.
Yeah.
Yep, so that'll be +1 damage die.
Nah.
It's going to be 15 at a -3. Which one are you attacking? Are you attacking the one that looks a bit damaged, or just the regular one?
A little bit damaged.
Okay. I am going to spend a ruin to make it roll determination. Five to 6. It's going to be negating 4 of that damage. So it was taking 7. It was taking 8. It's going to be taking 5 wounds. And you see that the one that is damaged, the one that Perrault, you had your chain bayonet stuck in, because that was the one that was damaged, and currently has its claw stuck in you. Falls to the ground, currently motionless. But now there's the matter of your second attack for Ashi. Go ahead and make it. That's a 7. Again, you could shift that one exalted for an extra damage die if you'd like.
I will.
Alright, go ahead. That's 16. So it's going to be 9. Yep, that I'm also going to spend a ruin and make that one roll determination as well. 2, 4, 5. So that one's going to be taking 4 wounds, so it's heavily damaged, although it's not down just yet. But the other one is down. Now I need to check something. do need to actually check that. This will make it go back up to the top of the round. Who would like to go first?
I might as well.
Yeah, if everyone's down for that.
I assume that was a yes.
Go
That
for
was
it.
a very sneeze, but yes.
Yep.
Did I retrieve my weapon from the corpse?
You have not yet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What happens with that will depend on what happens with what happens next.
Gucci. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go second or third.
Yep.
So one of them's dead, yes?
One of them is on the ground, motionless. Yes.
Is the power signature, like, as far as the aspects, how many specs is it dead?
No. You can see the energy signature is different, but there is an energy signature still present.
Okay. And given that I am blindish, I would know better than to not attack it, so I will go for that one.
Yep.
Since I think it is the closest of the two.
Yes, it is. It is the closest of the two to you. You don't need to roll anything for this. You do attack it. Currently nothing happens. You feel the blade strike metal and flesh, but nothing really happens. You don't hear any groaning or anything like that. Because what happens to it actually very much depends on its next turn. You are going to manage to be able to clear the blood from your eyes, though, so you will be able to see.
Cool. Do I have the option of attacking the other one, or is that?
You'll still be blind if you choose to multi-attack, and you'll be taking a +2 DN penalty because you don't have the bonus from Gorshmak's Warpath anymore, because that's only a round.
I'm good then. Do I have the option to cloak?
You do have the option to cloak. You can cloak if you'd like.
That's good, because I would like to stay alive as much as possible.
Yep. Go ahead and make a stealth.
That would be a 9.
Yeah, you vanish.
I pop out of existence.
And you will be able to clear the blood from your eyes. So you'll be able to see that there is one of these things is heavily injured, and the other one's lying on the ground. Now, at the start of its turn, I'm going to get a ruin, and now I need to roll a d6. And this is why I was talking about that weapon. Why that weapon thing would depend on what happened next turn. Cloak, you'll see this, and Parole, you'll definitely see this, as its claw is still kind of half hanging out of you. As this thing begins to get up.
Lovely.
As you see, the flesh doesn't repair itself, but you can see underneath there's this shiny bit of metal that begins to stitch itself back together. But that's all it can do. Who would like to go next?
Fuck it. I'll go.
So, Perol, you were sticking your hand up to go next?
Yeah. Do I still have my rifle into this thing?
It was, yeah, your rifle is there. The chain bayonet's what's stuck. If you want, because it's attached to the weapon, if you want to shoot the galvanic rifle as a weapon attack, you can do that.
So anyway, I started blasting.
All right. Sure, go ahead and start blasting. That is a 6. You can shift that. You can go ahead and shift that exalted if you'd like, and you'll still hit. And you can shift it for extra damage.
Exalted.
Sure. Let me just very quickly look at the galvanic rifles. And this will give it.
Do I still have the 3 from the DVD?
No, you have a 1. So you can go ahead and roll. You go ahead and roll that. All right, that's 13 damage. And AP -1 because you shifted an exalted icon, so you get rending. You get the rending bonus from that. It's not. I'm not gonna bother rolling determination for it. It's gonna go back down. Whether it stays there remains to be seen, but it's gonna go back down.
Do I still have a go or at this thing or no? With a single shot.
With the single shot, like the one that's right in front of you that you shot, it is down again. Because you shot it.
Okay. I know if I had time to double tap.
You can continue holding the trigger if you'd like, but again, not really sure how much help it's gonna be.
In that case, no. We will only click once.
Yep, and you can also attempt to pull out your weapon at this stage. It's a difficulty 5 strength test because you're still afraid.
We're gonna and yank.
Okay.
And
I will say, because it is on the ground and you have superior position, that this works.
Cool.
So you managed to yank your chain bayonet out of it, and so you could move back if you'd like.
We are stepping back from this thing.
Yeah.
Tactical retreat.
Tactical retreat, yes. And now it's going to be the other one's turn. And Farashi, you are right in front of it. And so it is going to go ahead and attack you. It is going to get 1 success, and these things don't have any personal wrath, so it's just gonna straight up miss. And that is all I can do.
I believe it's my turn to retort then.
If you would like to retort next, you may retort. you are gonna run a roller complication, but you have 3 exalted icons you can shift if you'd like. Yeah, no, you just want this thing to die. Alright, go ahead and roll 2d6 for me, please. $15. Okay. So, what's gonna happen there, with the combat complication is you are going to stab this thing through both its metal and its fleshy bits. But a bit of a squelch comes from your hands as a bit of blood gets along the clave's haft and makes it quite sticky. And it does slip out of your hands, so you'll need to spend a simple action on your next turn to retrieve it. But 16 AP minus 3, there's no point in me spending Actually, yeah, it is going to roll determination to see if it can tank this, but probably not. Yeah, it's getting 3. It's getting 3. You're dealing 16 damage. It's going to take 9, 8, 7, 6. That's going to knock it down. But it's also going to knock the clave out of your hands as it goes. So on your next turn, you'll have to go ahead and spend a simple action to retrieve the clave. Actually, I believe you have a simple action, so you could just go and retrieve it.
I believe then I'll do so.
All right. So both of these things are down currently. I'm going to go ahead and see if there is any worth in this continuing. First one. Okay. Second one. As you knock them down, whilst they're still remaining heavily damaged, you see that both of them slowly begin to get back up. Because that's what happens when you fight Necrons. They reanimate over and over and over again. It's a 50-50 chance. I don't know how it keeps succeeding. But I needed to check that just to make sure that the targets were actually worth targeting, or if the combat was over. But Gorshmak and Cloak are who had left.
Well, this has worked once already tonight, so I think Gorshmak would like to stomp on these Necrons with the power of the Crunch.
Stomp onto Necrons with the power of the Crunch. Go ahead and show them the might of Gork and Mork through the Crunch. Okay, that will manifest. That is the wrong. Yep, that will manifest. Where is it? Okay. It is to crunch. Yep. So you don't have enough icons to exalted icons to shift for a +1 on the roll to repeat, but you do. It's a blast 6 actually. So yeah, you can position this so you crunch them both. There's no really point in really rolling them to repeat. Actually, yeah, no, there is. So go ahead and roll a d3 first. Actually, no, don't even bother rolling it because you are going to take them down. They're only on 1 wound each. Go ahead and roll just a regular d6. That's not an exalted icon, so it's not going to occur a second time. One of them is getting back up. Please say that the other one is not. So the one that was near you, Farashi, it's body vanishes. But the other one is staying up. It gets knocked back down and it's slowly beginning to repiece itself together.
Is it within 7 movements of...
Yes. Yes, it is.
Cool. If it does not have something to do prior to my turn, then I would like to hopefully put this thing down.
Yep, so you'd like to hit it? Go ahead.
I would like to, depending on its distance, if I may, fly down the hallway and take the muscle blade to it.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
Not bad. Muscle blade. Oop. Wow,
That's not complicated, but it's you're just straight up missing.
that's impressive.
Yeah, that is actually quite impressive. So you're gonna you're gonna swing and miss.
Do I have another wrath, or do we only get the one?
If you have it, you get 2 at the start of each session. So if you want to wrath re-roll it, you do have a wrath you could spend.
Yeah, split. Because that was embarrassing.
Yeah, go ahead and 3.
There we go.
That is still gonna miss this thing's defense though.
Oh, well, hey, I mean, at least I made contact this time.
You did make contact this time. You did make contact this time. And it's gonna go back up to the top of the round. So who would like to go first against this solitary creature that I'm sure you've figured out is some kind of Necron?
Well, if no one else will. Oh, by the way, no, that wouldn't apply since I wasn't the one who downed it. Or no, I would, because I would recover shock, would I not?
You would. You will recover 1d3 plus, I believe it's 1d3 plus tear shock. Let me just take a very quick peek at your little ability, but you will be... Alright, give me just a second to check the Drukari, one, scroll down, Drukari. Yeah, it's 1d3 plus rank shock. So yeah, you will regain 3 shock.
Leave me back up.
Yes, it does. It does put you back up, although it doesn't heal the massive fucking wounds that you've received. But you are going to attack it. You're definitely going to hit it. You could shift that exalted icon. That is 21 damage. You're definitely going to knock this thing flat on its ass. I'm going to roll a d6. Stay down. It also vanishes.
I think it's at this point, Nefarashi grips the wound, kind of rests herself against the wall, taking a moment. That looks like it's going to scar quite nicely.
Oh, it will. The flensed talons of this thing dug in real deep. And now that both are gone, you can hold Piror, your fear is gone.
I have a first aid
blindness
kit.
is gone.
Yes, you do.
No, my blindness is gone. Yes, I have a first aid kit on me though, if you'd like.
Yes, the first aid kit. Looking at healing via Medicaid. So I actually need to figure out. Alright, so this is done through. Alright, let me see here.
And I have 6 dice to medicate, so it's not too bad. Not great, but, you know. I think I have, 6.
Yep. Give me a moment.
That is if Farashi would like.
By all means.
Yeah. So to heal, that will require a regroup, which is a short rest. If you have a Medicaid rating, you can heal a single character during a regroup. They regain wounds equal to your intellect plus Medicaid dice pool.
Which would be 6.
Yeah. So you can straight up. You don't need to roll. You don't need to roll.
It's up to the party though if they'd like to regroup though.
Yep. So you can straight up patch up. It doesn't heal shock. It can heal shock through where is Yep. Okay. So you can use Medicaid to heal shock, as well. But someone will also have to do that if you decide to regroup and patch up Farashi, because that will take an hour and your attention. So it's up to you guys.
This is the party's call.
Yep. So it's up
I
to you
need
guys if you would like
to-
to.
I need to regain shock.
Yes. So you can either spend a Wrath to regain 1d3 plus 3 shock, or you can go ahead. You can go ahead to and make a difficulty 3 intelligence Medicaid check to restore 2 shock.
We're gonna try the Medicaid first.
That would be a 5.
Yes, which means when you're tending to them, whoever you're tending to will regain 2 shock. When you're looking at restoring wounds, it's a difficulty 3 Medicaid test, and then every shifted exalted icon heals a wound. Which is why you want to do it during a regroup, because then you don't have to worry about the specifics of rolling 6s on your test.
So how did I do with that?
Yeah. So on yourself, Piror, you would heal 2 shock.
That's better than nothing. Over combat.
So yeah, if it is up to you guys, you can go ahead and decide to move back a little and regroup, where you'll be able to patch up Farashi's wounds properly, and tend
You
to
said
yourselves
2,
a
right?
little. Yeah, 2. It's a rank plus 1.
Okay, so I got 2 back, so 3. Half. Cool.
And how much current max? Like, I received none because of short rest.
Talking about shock.
Wounds.
Oh,
Not
wounds. If you're doing a regroup, if Cloak tends to you, you'll go back to full, because he'll be able to heal 6 wounds.
Alright. I think that would probably be the best.
Yeah.
Considering you're one of our primary fighters, yes.
Yeah. And the
Careful
devotees.
with that part.
I love that. But taking some time to rest and regroup is probably for the best.
Now, in that same rest, since I'm tending to Barashi, but I rolled that 5. Am I able to use that roll to recover shock for somebody else?
Yeah.
Since I don't have to roll.
Yeah. Yep. Someone would be someone else would be recovering 2 shock.
I think that would go to my fellow Kroot thing, as they sound like they need some shock recovered.
So you'll recover another 2 shock per roll.
Cool. You'll just hear a humbled, "Thank you," as he steadies himself.
Shapers need us to succeed.
Yes. Is what they would be hearing at this point.
And I think, although it was a shorter than usual session, I actually think that this might be the perfect time to break for today. As you guys rest, regroup, figure out what it is you're doing, and then maybe heading further in.
Me too.
So, that ends the roleplay portion of the session for today. I have to ask, because I know you guys figured out that you were fighting some Necrons just then.
Flayed once.
Derek got it in 1. Fighting some flayed ones.
Big one, Rhino was a juggernaut.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No.
I'm glad I took it out then.
No, the I will say the Rhino thing wasn't a juggernaut. But yes, you did fight a couple of flayed ones.
No way, that's a forge.
Oh,
No,
fuck
it's something else. It's something else.
Oh, fuck off.
I do want to go back to that Rhino at some point and take a horn.
You will see. You could go back there. There's nothing stopping you.
Not right. No, not right now.
Yeah,
Later,
but I
after
mean
we're
later.
done.
After you're done, there's nothing stopping you. But
Carve myself down a nice new weapon with that horn.
yeah. And if you can't, well, you could always sell it to someone who could.
Wait,
But
that horn made of freaking wraithbone, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
But
One of my weapons is.
Yeah, the husk blade is made of wraithbone. Oh, sorry, the void saber is made of wraithbone.
Yeah, that's why I took it.
But Bart, to answer your question, maybe, but also maybe not.
Do you guys mind if I bounce right now?
Yeah, no. If you are exhausted, you can.
Yeah, babies.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yeah,
You take
no
care.
problem. You take care, man. But I think.
Sure, everybody.
You do.
But no, what's gonna happen right now is we're gonna sign off, as I think this is the perfect time to end. Thank you guys all so much for coming, and we'll see you next week as this group of misfits gets closer and closer to the Tesseract that they're looking for in Wrath and Glory, Howl of the Lost. I would suggest that you guys stick around on the channel, because I know that this coming Monday evening, Australian American time, Tuesday afternoon, Australian Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be looking at what could very easily be one of the final, if not one of the final, if not the final episode of Brisbane by Night River City Secrets. So stay tuned for that. Until then, good night, everybody.